Deep inside the Arctic Circle, there's a place of amazing beauty. It's called the Laponian area, and it's in northern Sweden. This place is so special, it's even on the UNESCO World Heritage List. It's huge and wild, and when you're there, it feels like time has stopped. This is Laponia. Imagine rugged mountains, old forests, and sparkling rivers all in one place. That's what Laponia is like. Tall mountains touch the sky, and their sides are covered in green forests. The rivers and lakes are so clear, they reflect the sky like a mirror. Because it's so far away, people haven't changed this wilderness much. This makes it a safe home for many plants and animals. It's a place where you can feel close to nature, just as it is. The Laponian area is like its own little world. Ice, wind, and time have made it incredibly beautiful. Over thousands of years, glaciers have carved out deep valleys and sculpted tall mountain peaks. This makes the landscape really interesting, with peaceful valleys next to towering mountains. You can see waterfalls crashing down cliffs, and the sound echoes through the wilderness. Rivers flow quickly through old forests, and the water is full of life. The air is clean and crisp, and you can smell pine needles and the earth. It's very quiet here, except for the wind in the trees, the water flowing, and maybe a bird singing. For a very long time, the Sami people have called this land home. They have a very deep connection to nature, and it's a big part of their culture. The Sami have lived in harmony with this land for many generations. They know how to live with nature, and they've passed this knowledge down through their families for many years. Reindeer are very important to the Sami way of life. These amazing animals provide them with food, clothes, and even transportation across the wilderness. The Sami people respect nature deeply, and they show it through their actions and beliefs. They believe that everything in nature is connected, and that we have to protect it. Imagine a place where the sun never sets during the summer. That's what it's like in the Laponian area. This is because of the midnight sun, something special that happens in places far north. The sky glows with beautiful colors like gold, pink, and purple. The days are very long, so you have lots of time to explore the wilderness. You can hear birds singing, and the air smells like wildflowers. There are trails for hiking that go through the forests and up the mountains, and you can see amazing views everywhere you look. As you climb higher, the trees get smaller until you reach the top, where it's rocky and windy. Here, the ground is covered in colorful lichens and mosses, and small shrubs grow close to the ground. Section 2. A Symphony of Colors. The Laponian area is full of color, and the colors change with the seasons. In autumn, the leaves on the trees turn bright red, orange, and yellow. The air is cool and crisp, and you can smell the leaves and pine needles. In winter, everything is covered in snow and ice. The forests are white, and frozen waterfalls look like glass sculptures. Sometimes, you can even see the northern lights in the sky. They're like dancing lights in green, blue, and purple. When spring arrives, everything feels new and full of life. The snow melts and you can see green moss and lichen on the ground. Wildflowers start to bloom, adding even more color. The sound of rushing water fills the air as the rivers and streams thaw. Section 3. Guardians of the Forest. The pine forests in Laponia are some of the oldest in Europe. These trees are huge, with twisted trunks and branches shaped by the wind. They've been growing here for hundreds of years. These forests are home to many wild animals like brown bears, wolverines, and lynx. They're very good at hiding, so you might not see them, but they live here. You can see lots of birds too, like eagles, falcons, and buzzards flying high in the sky. There are also smaller animals like squirrels, ermines, and lemmings. All these animals are important because they help keep the forest healthy. It's amazing to see how everything in nature is connected. Section 4. Whispers of the Wild. When you walk through the Laponian wilderness, you feel very peaceful and calm. The air is so clean, and all you hear is the wind in the trees, the water in the streams, and maybe a bird singing. It's the perfect place to get away from the noise and stress of everyday life and just be with nature. The Laponian area is a magical and mysterious place where you can forget your worries and just enjoy the beauty around you. It's a place that will stay with you long after you leave, reminding you of how powerful and important nature is. No animal represents the Laponian area better than the reindeer. These amazing creatures with their large antlers and thick fur are made to live in the cold Arctic. They wander freely across the land, their hooves barely making a sound on the ground. For centuries, the Sami people have lived with reindeer, depending on them for food, clothes, and transportation. The Sami people have a deep connection with these animals, and you can see it in their traditions, songs, and stories. Watching a reindeer migration is an amazing experience. Thousands of animals move together, their hooves drumming on the frozen ground. It's a powerful reminder of how strong life is, even in this challenging environment. The Arctic fox is a master of blending in. With its bright blue eyes and thick white fur, you can hardly see it in the snow. This clever animal is perfectly suited for the long, dark winters, using its senses to find food under the snow. In the summer, the Arctic fox changes its coat. It sheds its white fur and grows brown or gray fur that helps it hide among the rocks and plants. This amazing adaptation keeps it safe from other animals that might want to eat it. The Arctic fox is important for keeping the Laponian ecosystem in balance. It helps control the populations of lemmings and other small animals. Seeing an Arctic fox reminds us of how delicately balanced nature is in this remote part of the world. The skies above the Laponian area are always busy with birds. You can see all kinds of birds here, from big birds of prey to tiny songbirds. They come from all over the world. The golden eagle, with its huge wings and sharp eyes, flies high above the mountains looking for something to eat. The gyrfalcon, the largest falcon in the world, is incredibly fast and can catch its prey in the air. You might hear the loon's call echoing across the lakes and rivers. It's a little spooky but beautiful too. And then there's the bluethroat, a small bird with a beautiful song that makes you feel happy. All these amazing birds add to the beauty of the Laponian area. Hidden depths, Life Aquatic. Underneath the clear water of Laponia's lakes and rivers, there's a whole world of life we don't always see. From tiny insects to big fish, these freshwater ecosystems are very important for the whole region. The Arctic char, a type of fish that loves cold water, lives in these clean waters. The Sami people have been fishing here sustainably for a very long time, and they consider Arctic char a delicacy. The fact that there are so many fish and other creatures in the water tells us that the water in the Laponian area is very clean. Protecting these freshwater ecosystems is crucial for keeping this special region healthy. Nomads of the North. The Sami people, who are native to the Laponian area, are incredibly strong and adaptable. They have roamed these lands for centuries, their lives closely connected to the rhythms of nature. The Sami are nomadic, which means they move around depending on the season. This shows how well they understand this delicate environment. Reindeer herding is a very important part of Sami culture. Reindeer provide them with food, clothing, and a deep spiritual connection to the land. The Sami follow the reindeer on their migrations, traveling long distances. They live in portable homes called lavus or goati, which are made from natural materials like wood and reindeer hides. These homes are simple but clever, designed to protect them from the harsh Arctic weather. They show how the Sami respect the environment and live in harmony with nature. Harmony with nature. The Sami people's connection to nature goes beyond just survival. It's a deep spiritual connection, a belief that everything in nature is connected. They believe that everything in nature, from the mountains and rivers to the animals and plants, has a spirit and must be treated with respect. This respect is reflected in their traditions, which focus on sustainability and balance. They are careful not to hunt or fish too much, making sure that there are enough animals and plants for the future. They also know a lot about plants and how to use them for medicine. This knowledge has been passed down through generations. The Sami people have always relied on nature for their physical and spiritual well-being. Even though the modern world is changing things, the Sami people are working hard to keep their culture alive. They have their own language called Yoak, which is a beautiful and haunting way of telling stories. Their songs sound like the wind, the rivers, and the animals of their land. The Sami are also very skilled craftspeople. They make beautiful things like knives, clothes from reindeer leather, and wooden cups with intricate designs. These crafts tell the story of their culture and connection to nature. The Sami people have festivals and gatherings where they come together to celebrate their heritage and teach their traditions to younger generations. This ensures that the spirit of the Sami people remains strong and their connection to the land stays unbroken. The Sami people, like many indigenous cultures around the world, are facing challenges in protecting their way of life. Modernization, climate change, and industries like mining and forestry are threatening their lands and livelihoods. Climate change is a big problem in the Arctic. Rising temperatures and melting ice are changing the environment that the Sami rely on. Reindeer migration patterns are changing, traditional grazing grounds are disappearing, and the weather is becoming unpredictable. These are big challenges for the Sami people. But they are resilient and are speaking up to protect their land, culture, and their right to exist as a distinct people. Their struggle reminds us that we need to respect indigenous knowledge, protect cultural diversity, and make sure that our planet is healthy for future generations. In 1996, the world recognized how special the Laponian area is. UNESCO named it a World Heritage Site, meaning it's important not just for Sweden but for everyone in the world. This designation recognizes the area's incredible natural and cultural heritage and the special relationship between the Sami people and their land. This recognition also means that the world has a responsibility to protect this treasure. The Laponian area reminds us that we need to protect the world's remaining wilderness areas. It shows us that everything is connected and that we need to take care of our planet. Being named a World Heritage Site means that we are guardians of the Laponian area, not owners. This land, with its old forests, clean water, and unique animals, is not ours to exploit but ours to protect. Conservation efforts in the Laponian area focus on finding a balance. We need to meet the needs of people today without harming the environment for future generations. The Sami people, with their ancient knowledge and deep connection to the land, are important partners in conservation. Their voices are heard, and their traditions are respected, ensuring that both the culture and the environment are protected. Protecting a place as special as the Laponian area is a balancing act. We want people to experience its beauty without harming it. Ecotourism, when done responsibly, can help. Visitors to the Laponian area are encouraged to be respectful of nature. Guided tours, sustainable accommodations, and educational programs all contribute to a type of tourism that prioritizes conservation and cultural sensitivity. Money from responsible tourism goes back into the local communities, supporting conservation efforts and ensuring that everyone benefits. This sustainable approach helps protect the very things that make people want to visit this remote part of the world. The Laponian area is more than just a beautiful place. It reminds us that we need to protect our planet's wild places, not just for us but for future generations. As we face global problems like climate change and the loss of plants and animals, places like the Laponian area become even more important. They teach us about the balance of nature and why we need to protect biodiversity. By protecting the Laponian area, we are not just protecting a place. We are protecting a way of life, a culture, and a legacy of humans and nature living together in harmony. It's a legacy that will continue to inspire us for many years to come. The Laponian area shows us how powerful nature is. It's a place where time seems to move differently, shaped by ancient forces and home to a culture deeply connected to the land. It reminds us that some places are too special to be tamed. We all have a responsibility to protect this fragile wilderness, not just the Sami people or the Swedish government. By protecting places like the Laponian area, we are ultimately protecting ourselves. We are choosing to protect a future where humans and nature can thrive together, where the beauty of the natural world continues to amaze us. Let's make sure that the legacy of the Laponian area, a legacy of resilience, harmony, and breathtaking beauty, continues for generations to come. It's a gift from the past, a treasure to cherish today, and a promise for the future.